is Azrae Stevens, and you're tapping in with the committee.
Big shout out to the committee. Y'all hold it down for us.
Shout out to the committee.
You are rocking with the committee. The committee. We committee.
Some people ain't gonna like it, and some people will.
Yeah.
Feet wet. I mean, wait. Feet wet.
Pussy wet.
Oh, brother. The whole bottle. That's how you make entrance.
Clank, 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 clank.
Oh, now Rob going to leave.
How we feeling, friend?
I'm feeling great.
That game that we just watched, like, what the?
I watched the last
Insane, right?
The last minute that lasted 10 minutes.
Yes.
But talk about it. Like, what did you think? Because when we looked in the chat, it was very much UCLA for the win. So talk to me about that. Because UCLA started to pull away in the fourth, and then Oregon State made their run. Why did they ultimately win the game?
Talia was hooping. Threes was like the big equalizer for them. They were knocking them down when it mattered most. And we've talked about it before with Oregon State. You just can't rush them. They're going to get the shot that they want to get no matter what. And even when UCLA tried to throw presses at them to speed them up, it didn't matter. They got the shots they wanted. I'm still not a fan of that zone they threw out there, but besides the point, they won the game. Man, I don't even know how they won that game.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to both teams though, because that last minute, each team executed perfectly what they wanted to do to get the right shot, and they made each shot. So shout out to them.
As a defense girly, the girlies in the offense was great, but the defense was awful.
Oh,
the
yeah.
shots that they got were wide as day. Yeah. The girl, Talia with the three, wide open. The drive they had to the basket, wide open. Lauren, wide open. Where was the defense, girlies?
Yeah.
But, great offense. Great execution, for sure, but...
And great liquor.
Lo
thinks she watching the SEC. We ain't strapping over.
I know.
We vibing.
But, that's my vibe. So, I'm just like, where the defense at? So
I honestly, for me, I was excited about the Oregon State win, not because I wanted either team to win or lose, but at this point in the season, it's splitting hairs. You're trying to find your way higher seeding, and Oregon State lost their best player in the second quarter. Yes. And to me, they looked better without her on the floor. And the way the team, Gardner has never been that aggressive in any game I've ever seen her play in. Talia didn't want to lose. And they just got really gritty. Scott got a tech. It was just a really, 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 really good game. So yeah, but if our hearts and minds are clear on that one, let's talk about Lowe's girls in Colorado.
I was asleep. I ain't see it, y'all.
They fought their way back. They came out really, really slow. Utah came out with a lot of energy. Obviously, Utah was at home. For a while, I was watching it and I was like, damn, this is about to be another blowout loss for Colorado, and that's not going to look good. I don't know how you can keep them as a 2 seed if they lose 2 games in a row getting blown out. And then they threw in a press, and that press had Utah shook. The refs weren't calling shit, so their press was hella aggressive. They were aggressive with it, and Utah just couldn't figure it out. And they came back in and took the lead at one point. Mm-hmm. But then Utah came back and they made some free throws, I think, or something like that. And then Colorado took the lead again. And it was the last maybe 10 seconds, nobody was calling a timeout, and they were just going. And the girl got the ball. I was in the house screaming, call a timeout, call a timeout. And she kept going, and she got to the rim and knocked it down. So
yeah,
that ending was crazy. Shit, Pac-12 was wild today.
Yeah, it was great hoops. truly great hoops, to be honest. Let me look at these comments. Is the Pac-12 tournament going to be on TV for most of us? It typically the championship is always on major network TV. The rounds will be on Pac-12 network.
Yeah.
So we'll stream them for y'all.
This is Louis.
Is it really?
No. This is Savage.
Really not.
Not Savage.
Yeah, it was Rihanna Savage.
You must have got the
Savage Fenty.
Yeah, I was in that program where you get like discounts and stuff, whatever, and I canceled it before it got too expensive. You know, I'm good for a good pay in full, a good clone, a good after pay.
I know I'm late, and maybe you all have already done this. Is this Shay's first wind down?
Oh, it is my
On
first.
stage.
Oh, for a little drinky
put
drink.
the drinks up.
Drinky drink.
I'll have
Drink
one.
out of mine.
away.
Well, say the shit, Lo. Up to it.
Up to it, down to it. Those who don't do it, we do it because we used to it. So drink.
And for those of you that are not aware, I am at my cabin this weekend. You can see in the background. So if you all would like to come, you are more than welcome.
I love how you're sitting. Your head is sitting on top of the coffee table. That's
Yes, because I want you to catch the background. I'm sitting on a stool in front of my light.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go play a song for us?
Not at this time.
What's the time difference? Is daytime at your cabin?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You in Switzerland or something?
I've never
Okay.
been around such a group of haters.
Is it time for my reading?
No, sister.
Okay.
But it is time for the return to college time. So today,
Another hot take.
some news being spilled that the young baby goat paid no titles, only freshman of the year to win freshman of the year, national player of the year at the same year with no titles, announced that she will be returning to UConn to attempt to win one of the 4 of the 5 championships that she wants to possibly win at that university. Thoughts?
I would first like to say, was anybody shocked?
No.
No.
I mean, she's been saying for a while now that like she's coming back without saying she's coming back. So
But I remember the commotion when we dropped that mock and the people just dragged. Like I thought, well, we're here now.
I
I
guess
think it's
Looking for something.
it's a smart decision if UConn can stay healthy next year, but that's to be determined, unfortunately, for them.
But here's my thing. And I'm not even being shady when I say this, for real. Like, yes, if they're fully healthy, but what happens when we get they haven't played with each other together? They're struggling. Like we've heard that already with the repeat. The defending champions were supposed to repeat, but now that narrative has changed to they don't have time. They've never played together. They're still learning each other. So if she's coming back in hopes of playing with a healthy team, and granted they're talented, so I'm not taking that away. But if she's coming back with that in mind and it doesn't happen, then is that why she was really coming back?
look in the comments, because whoever this is ate this up. I ain't gonna destroy your name like that, but it says the wild reactions would be okay if folks came back and were like, damn, I was wrong. And that's where I want to sit at on this topic. Because for me, Caitlin Clark just broke the scoring record in collegiate history. And Shaq called her the greatest college player of all time on the women's side. And of course, the argument is, can you be the greatest college player of all time if you haven't won a title, right? And we've seen a large majority of the UConn fan base say that Paige is one of the greatest college hoopers of all time. And so I have to use that same argument here. Can Paige be the greatest, one of the greatest college players of all time with her resume thus far if she wins a title next year?
I'd like to hear from Lo.
Oh, I don't have a strong opinion on it either way. I don't give a fuck, honestly. However, I will say GOAT debates, that's necessary. I like debates for the, for the game. Don't tell me who the GOAT is like they did in the WNBA. Let us argue. But yeah, I don't care. I do think, how can I say this and not sound bad? I do think, I don't want to say this like it's a positive because it's not, but that's just kind of how the world works. Like somebody goes down and it gives another person an opportunity to shine. Like we talk about TCU with the girlies coming on, maybe that's the opportunity that they would never have. I do think because ESPN and women's college basketball is so one-track mind, I do think that Paige having her career be so up and down and tumultuous is one of the better things that's happened for Cece in her career. And not because Cece can't hoop. That's not T, right? Cece can hoop. But because nobody was paying attention to Cece. The NCAA, the ESPN, the media, they're so like, they got blinders on, right? If Paige doesn't have this kind of injury-ridden career, unfortunately, then we don't hear it from Cece. Right? Don was begging, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Not because Cece couldn't hoop, but because they just can't focus. So, they just focus on one person. So I will say that, but other than that, I don't care.
So counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
Now that both players are healthy,
mm-hmm.
both players are relatively on teams where talent is a wash. UConn fans would lead you to believe that Paige is not playing beside 5 stars and a former National Player of the Year contending post player. But talent is a wash. Given what Caitlin is doing right now and what Paige is doing right now, is that one-track minded decision shifted warranted?
Oh, I don't think it's not warranted. I'm cool with it. Once again, I don't care. I was just kind of pointing out the reason. I do think, I don't want to say it's a tad different because CC kind of signed up to be this, I'm going to play, and I know I'm not going to have these girls behind me. Technically, I'm going to have some talent, but I'm not going to have that behind me. I signed up for that. I knew what I signed up for. So that's her mindset. So automatically, once again, I'm not saying anything negative about either one or negative about Paige. Automatically, that's a different type of like that's a different type of, I'm cool. I'm gonna put the team in my back. I'm already knowing this. As opposed to Paige, she didn't go in with that mindset. She went in with the mindset of, I'm coming to this program that's gonna have these All-Americans that I'm gonna hoop with. So I think their mindsets are different going in. So I'm not surprised that.
So can you be?
I'm trying not to say nothing.
Can you be? This is for everybody on stage. Can you be that, like, the it player in sports if the goal was never for you to have to do anything other than be yourself with other people that could help you on a down night?
I think the narrative now is shifting because of Caitlin Clark, but I think before nobody ever had a problem with it. Right, because that's all UConn has been. And I'm not saying that those girls weren't good, because Breanna Stewart is arguably that bitch, and I'm never gonna argue against that. But she's also played with hella great players, so I think the narrative is changing a little.
A bunch of pros.
Cedric said, Cedric said Paige and CC are like the debate between Jordan and Michael. I mean Jordan and LeBron. They have two different play styles. Thoughts?
Yeah, they both point guards, so
both of those players had championships. So I'm going to remove myself from this narrative because I don't really know.
That's why I made that face. Like, I'm not sure.
I don't really know.
The glove don't fit. You must
And
Must quit.
and they
my
both live in different eras too, so it's hard to say what LeBron would have done in Jordan's era and what Jordan would do in LeBron's era. Whereas these two, they're literally playing in the same era right now, basically going against each other or the same level of competition. So,
You got an ice pack, Yana? You got
no.
an ice pack. My shoulder dislocated. It's a reach. A
Yeah.
fucking reach. A fucking reach.
But yeah, I don't mind the conversation. But yeah.
And since it's the wind down, and I got wine. Of course, Twitter's an uproar because I put it in an uproar.
And I
But
went to sleep and woke up to nonsense.
But I said, sister didn't get her 4 titles. She has none. I'm trying to be nice. How do we feel about that?
Like I felt about the whole Cheryl Swoop, CC, all of that. Stop. Allow players to come into
Their
who
own.
they are, because you just never know. We could say, oh, she a dog, she should be special, she could do something special, but don't put all that on them, because now, unfortunately, it's this narrative hanging over Paige, and it's things that she just gonna have to carry with her, because that's what I mean. She said, I want to win 4. Cool. That's not, that ain't bad, whatever. But the fans hyped it up. Oh, Paige gonna do this, y'all scared, y'all da 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 da. You can't say that. And now I'm like, but you told me this, and now you mad. It don't work like that. So give people grace. Stop putting people foot in their mouths.
Especially in like this era where there's so much parity in the game. There's just so much balance. Like it's hard to win a championship now in women's basketball. The top team isn't always going to win. Like, and that's just what it is. That's where the game is right now. So putting this on these players that as soon as they come in, like I remember when Paige came to UConn and she won that Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year award. It was, she's a baby Sue Bird mixed with Diana Taurasi if they were to have a kid, and she's about to take over the world and she's going to do this and she's about to be this and that. And like Lo said, when you put these expectations on these players as fans, you got to be ready to back. Like Paige may not have said it, but y'all said it. And so now you got to be ready to stand on what you said and realize that people going to bring it back up. That's the main reason why y'all see me with these South Carolina girls this year. I'm like, listen, these girls are young. You ain't gonna never hear me be like, oh, we finna run the table if we go into the championship. No, these girls are young. They're figuring it out, and I'm just here to enjoy the ride.
Okay, so we got 2 things we're gonna discuss. So, top 16 reveal, of course, but this was from WT in the chat. I don't think you need team titles to be debated as GOAT, but your individual accolades need to be OD. Unfortunately for Paige, due to her injuries, she won't be able to do that. Okay. Brief caveat. Paige took her team as a freshman to a national semifinals and was not injured and got embarrassed by Ari McDonald. As a sophomore, she got injured, finished the season healthier, took her team to a finals, and got embarrassed by Destiny Henderson. Last year, she was not able to complete the season due to an injury, so that's a wash. This year, she is healthy, and her team stinks.
It's the pause before stinks.
Is that, do we blame injuries for 3 of those 4 years?
No, I think for me, it's just they say that's the way the cookie crumble. That's just unfortunate. That's how her career went, and like she just doesn't have the awards. And we can say, does it get like an asterisk beside it? No, but we could say, dang, like maybe what could have been. That's unfortunate, but it it just kind of is what it is. Like, we could say that sucks, like, but I don't,
And I think too, part of it is like, and I think we talked about this recently with the hype coming in. It was so like Paige is gonna do this. Paige, like nobody is gonna be able to touch Paige. And so when you come in with that type of hype, when you come in with those types of expectations and you don't live up to them, it goes back to that I hate to bring up bus conversation. Like you can be the best player in the world, but if you don't live up to that potential, you just don't do it. So at what point do we stop making the excuse for the other factors? Because while true, they are there. If you're that girl, if you're that bitch, you should be able to elevate what you have.
Be
and that's
that.
the only difference that's the only thing that I'm not gonna say only thing, but that's one of the things that I give Caitlin, because you can't coming into this season, I did not have Iowa nobody's top nothing. Like, but she has literally elevated. Like Hannah scored how many the other night? Like
47,
do
40
that to
something.
bring everybody else along with you. I can't argue that GOAT logic.
In the words of the great Dream Girls, Effie, we all got paid.
For 7 years I sung with you. I was your sister. You are trouble.
And
Y'all should know not to get me started over Dream Girls.
It's
But
all over, and now we're telling you it's all over.
Keela's comment. I'm glad you put it up here because I was just about to mention, like, to be honest, the only people, okay, Kelsey's won 2 rings in BG. On that top 5 scoring list is Kelsey, Jackie, BG, Caitlin, and
don't
The
forget
other Kelsey, Mitchell.
and Kelsey Mitchell. Right. Mitchell ain't sniffing a title. Jackie Styles.
You paused for a minute. We didn't catch up that. You was like,
oh my bad. So it's 2 Kelseys, Jackie.
We got the name, girl. What you saying? Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm blaming on the drink. No, but they basically said that how many of those people, have done something professionally. BG technically didn't lead Phoenix to a title because she got hurt for the finals, but she has won one. Kelsey is the only one that's played and won 2. So them scoring titles don't matter when you get to college. And we saw it took like Kelsey 3 damn years, maybe 4, to really be who she is now. So like all of that stuff, and I feel like that goes into what Cheryl Swoop said. You can be this great player in college, but don't expect to be able to dominate right away. And I think what helped Candace be able to do that is because her frame, her skill set, and her strength. Playing in the SEC, the FCC was a different beast back then. Yes, it's very physical now, but the SEC back then, you had people like Simone, Sylvia Fowles, Arminty Harrington, like those big grown women coming out of the SEC. Michelle Snow, like ready to like tackle your ass. And Caitlin isn't ready for that physicality. Sid brought up something on this podcast the other day that was very true. You're in college, you're playing against people who are just there to have fun. There are some people who know that they're going to be a professional eventually. But when you get to the W, these are these people's jobs. These are their jobs. They're not trying to have you take food out of their mouth. So, like, they are going to make it their goal to show you up. We saw how Brittany Sykes and Alicia Gray did Sabrina those couple years back to back to back. They made it their mission to swat that into that shot all the time. So, like, come on, be for real. Cheryl didn't say she wasn't going to be good, but she ain't going to dominate right away. All right, that's it. I'm going back to my drink.
So to that convo, I love how we kind of tie this all in. This is why I rock with y'all, because this stuff is connected. But when we're
like manifest, sound like manifest. It's all connected.
It's all connected. When we're talking about these top players, I want y'all, especially if y'all are new to our platform, none of this negates how good these players are. Like, the thing that I love about the committee and the way that we discuss these things is we are saying, we know this. What else can we discuss connected to this? You can't say Caitlin's not a generational player. You can't say Paige is not one of the greatest, UConn players in history. Like all these things are true. With them being true, these other things can also be true and assessed. And so when we talk about the hype that we build and surround these players with, we're just advising fans, media, and everybody to proceed with caution. Because I remember the now two-time MVP, finals MVP, two-time champion, defensive player of the year twice, Olympic gold medalist, FIBA MVP, now New York Times bestseller, was called a bust 3 years ago after her team did not beat Seattle in the finals in the bubble without any stars.
It was bad.
After her team lost to Phoenix in Phoenix with Liz, Chelsea, Kelsey, and Jackie, and she left the floor crying. I remember fans getting on Twitter and saying she's a crybaby. She can't win the big one. She can't beat Stewie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They didn't give her grace. She was only 24 at the time. She didn't have any grace. She had already won an MVP, already won Rookie of the Year. And in the moment where we saw her breaking down on national television, it was nothing but kikis and ha-ha-has because she couldn't win the game. So why does the narrative change, and why are we being so sensitive and coddling other top players in the I'm coming low.
I know.
Why low? Yeah.
I can turn to both sides because it's a little ashy right
Black women are supposed to be strong and be able to fight through it all, and strong Black women and go Black women. So when you see them in a moment, when you see them struggling to hurt, oh, it's funny because you're supposed to be so strong, but white women are meant to be coddled. They're meant to be held. They're not supposed to be in distress. So the reaction is completely different. That's why.
And so for me, like, I guess that's why all of this gets so disingenuous to me, is because the very same people that are saying, why are you upset that Paige is coming back for an extra year? No one's upset. No one's upset. We knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the comments that have been made about other players that chose to come back for an extra year and decreased their draft stock, and the comments that were made about them. Go to the pros. You were pushing them to the pros, but your white hope, you want her to stay, get that title that we told you were going to get.
That was definitely pushing Rakia.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just want Rakia away from Tennessee, but
yeah, but
yes.
JJ, who hates Paige?
That's what I'm trying to find.
They always think that when people,
don't pay them no mind. They just come.
But also this concept of like, I do want to address this concept that people have about they just put their head down and hoop. Everybody just puts their head down and hoop. Do they not?
And if because this is my thing, if somebody has a critical thinking skills and is listening, they know that nothing that has been said here is hate. That is a troll that just want to chat and it's just in here to, so forget it.
Well, if she want to be number one, she better hope Caitlyn don't stay, because either way she ain't gonna be number one.
I mean, she can make her decision later. She can be like change the plan.
If Caitlyn decides to come back, she might change her mind and say, "Oh hell."
One thing I found interesting about the GOAT conversation that's popped up with Caitlyn is how one's like, she doesn't have the titles because she doesn't have players around her to help her get those. And these players y'all are mentioning, like Stewie and Maya and stuff like that, they've got titles because they've had better teams. But in my head, I'm just like, this is why I want y'all to like look at the game holistically and actually look at some of these players hoop, because why can't you use that argument for, say, the scoring title? Like, that's not saying what Caitlyn has done has been phenomenal. Like, what she has been able to do has been crazy. But if you've watched Maya, if you've watched Stewie, they were efficient and they got the shots that they want. When watching Maya, I don't think Maya ever, like to me, I can't even remember the shots she missed. Like Maya was just that good, but she had
True.
talent around her, which means she wasn't taking 28 plus shots a game. So if you put Maya on a team where there's no one available, does she hit that scoring record? I don't know. But though, like, why can't you use that argument for the scoring title, but you're willing to use it for the rings? Like,
we can play the hypothetical game on every part of hoops because
exactly.
let's
I
play
mean,
the
to be
All-American
honest,
game.
Angel ain't had no All-American players.
Angel Reese had no All-Americans on her team last season,
and she won.
and led her team to a national championship, averaging a double-double on the season. Alexis Morris was a fifth-year senior. LaDasia Williams was a transfer. Seventh year. It's fine. She was in school for a long time. Alexis Morris, Jasmine Carson had a breakout season off the bench. Like that team had no superstars. That imagine Angel with an Aaliyah Edwards on her.
Jasmine had a breakout game.
I was just about to say yes, a game, not a season.
But imagine Angel playing beside Aaliyah Edwards. Imagine if Angel had a Nika Mule to be just a lockdown defender. Imagine if he had a spot up 3-point. I'm talking about that year.
Yeah.
He had, a spot up 3-point shooter on her team. So the same way that we can kind of use this, well, Caitlin hasn't had anybody and Paige hasn't had anybody. Y'all still got more All-Americans than Angel had when she won the title. But also, let's flip the debate. Back when UConn was beating people by 45 points and 50 points, and the other team had 3 All-Americans, we didn't care.
Mm-mm.
Back when Stewie, Mojo, Morgan Tuck went 1, 2, 3 in a WNBA draft, they didn't care who nobody else had.
Nope.
Yep.
I'd have to do research, but who was the other super talented All-American on that Texas Tech team with Cheryl Swoops? Because she had to put up 47 for them to get there. Like, I'm genuinely asking, who was because
was Gerlich on the
I'd have to look. But
if you're in the comments, log in your Zooms. Pull up that roster.
I think Gerlich was on the team with her, but I don't know if Gerlich was an All-American.
Yes, Edward, it is a once-in-a-lifetime accomplishment for Caitlin. No one's taking that away. That, like, what Caitlin did was what she's doing is masterful offensively.
But why does that?
The entire.
Where do y'all get that from, though?
Why does the scoring title take precedent over winning 3, 4, 2, 3 Defense Player of the Year awards?
It shouldn't to me. But I think that's a part of our game that people don't pay attention to enough because it's not flashy, right? It's not fun. But to me, I just don't think you can be considered the greatest player ever if you're not consistently good on the defensive side. Like, I'm like, yeah, you can be there and you can do some good things here and there. You can get a block shot every once in a while or dig your hand in and get a steal, help out on a rotation and stuff. But when I look at players like Maya Moore, she was like great offensively and great defensively. I look at Tamika Catchings, great offensively, great defensively. Cheryl Swoops, great offensively, great defensively. So when you have two-way players like that, I just can't be like, oh, offense, because there are two sides to the game.
I feel like we're skipping over a major step here. And it's like, you have been a perennial star, and this is not to Caitlin's fault. It's Lisa Bluder's fault. But if you have this transcendent player and you can't recruit no goddamn body who is All-American or whatever to come and play with her for all of the years that she's been here, what do you want us to say about that? Like, Gottlieb has been, this is two different scenarios, but Gottlieb is at USC. She gets Juju. And now what happened? People from the state, top recruits is like, oh shit, I'm going to go play with Juju. Why isn't that happening? Because we see the talent. They're at Iowa State.
Yeah.
So
They are.
what like how are we supposed to quantify that if you can't get people in the building to play for your team?
Yeah.
That might be on Caitlyn too.
Well,
Right. And they said Caitlyn tried to get somebody. She tried to get Parrish, right, to come.
Who?
Sydney Parrish. They were
Parrish.
close
Oh,
friends.
They were like
Parrish. Okay.
childhood best friends or something like that.
Yes, that's true.
Mm.
Well, I think Caitlyn should leave personally.
Yes.
I think, and I, as much as I wanted Aaliyah to stay, I still was like, Aaliyah should go because I do think when you get to a point where it's becoming too easy because you're just that good and it's time for you to be challenged at a different level, then, it's just time to go. And
And
I
I
think Caitlyn's reached
And
that.
Aaliyah ain't hurting for no money.
to Yana's point though, like another underrated part about Caitlyn's record is the fact that she's done it where her freshman year was not a full season.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that season was condensed to basically only a conference schedule for most teams and then the tournament. So, like, again, please know that like we respect and value how good she is, but we ain't kissing ass, like
Mm-hmm.
who like we have to be able to have these critical convos. But to wrap up tonight, because low tired, to wrap
I'm
up
looking at low shit. Low is getting lower and lower.
to wrap up the night, just some quick thoughts, questions, comments, concerns about the top 16 reveal.
I'm gonna clear the
And
stage for
Brandon
Yana
also is
because
gonna wrap up
goddamn.
the Sermonic selection.
Lord.
But tell me.
I just feel like if you are a 3 seed or a 2 seed, hell, I don't care. You should not have home court advantage when it comes to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. I don't care about the S curve. I think that was one of the reasons why they started breaking it down into 2 regions. So because of the whole traveling thing and they didn't want the S curve to be messed around with because of traveling and stuff. But UConn being in the Albany region it's not fair. Portland, like Oregon State being in Portland, I'll say it for them too, because Oregon State has a really nice fan base and they travel as well, is not fair because you didn't earn it. You didn't earn the right to have a home court advantage in the Sweet 16 and possibly Elite 8 to get to the Final Four. And that's not fair to the 1 seeds that you'll possibly have to play or the 2 seeds you'll have to play in the Sweet 16. It's not fair.
Yeah.
I agree.
Other disappointing bracket or top 16.
I think South Carolina look like they got the hardest little section, and
Yeah, but
not that I don't think the girls can come out of it because I think they can do anything at this point. Shit, with the things that they've done, but that's a little odd. Just saying.
B, who's your badge of honor?
To be a baby mama, I see you paying your bills, see you working your job. Y'all know that song?
That's a good thing, girl. I know it.
D-Y!
M-A.
I think I agree. The same thing. You shouldn't, if you didn't earn it, you shouldn't have that advantage. I'm all for going back to how it was. Give me regionals.
I agree. I think Gonzaga is a snub right now in the top 16.
Yeah.
I would love to see them work their way into it. Overall, I'm not too upset as people are saying in the comments. This is going to be fluid. It will change. But I think the weirdest thing for me just looking at the season is that it has been so hard to gauge everyone not named South Carolina this season. Like, just from the fact that I think the Pac-12 is really difficult, but the teams there are very niche. Then I can go and look at the ACC, where it's like very like 10 to 16 range teams. NC State being an outlier for me. Still very hard to range and gauge. Then I think Ohio State and Iowa are these high flyers in the rankings, but when I look at them in comparison to other top teams, they don't fit the bill for me. And then when I go to the Big 12, the gowns are not beautiful.
They got on jorts.
Like,
They got on the Timu gowns.
yeah,
Gauchos.
yeah. Like if Texas and Kansas State are there, like, ooh.
Yeah.
So I really am gonna be interested to see, because I do feel like we're gonna get to a place at tournament time where somebody's coach is going to flip because they got an unfavorable bracket based on the committee not understanding how to look at the game holistically, to Yana's
Or
point,
even watching.
or watching.
Yeah. That too.
As well. But to wrap the night up, our good brother is going to do some reading, because reading is important, and I know many of you stopped doing that in the 3rd grade.
A lot of people can't.
And in order to get, because we are an education-based group, education is one of our pillars. So we want to make sure that all of our listeners are reading nightly. And in order to do so, our good sister, friend of the committee, Asia Wilson, is a New York Times bestseller, and she has released Dear Black Girls. And so we wanted to invite you to the Reading Rainbow, reading with B. Terrell. So get your night lights on. If you have the book, open it up. Are you ready, B?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
If someone shows you who they are, it is okay. It's okay not to be okay. Dear Black girls, this one is for the girls out there who feel like they can hardly breathe. This is for all the girls out there who feel like they have the weight of the world on their chests. This is for all the girls who are simply not okay right now. I need you to really hear me for a minute. I need you to feel this. If you're here for smiling Asia or perfect Asia or curated Asia, then I don't have anything for you. I'm just warning everybody from the jump. You know what? I'll even give you an easy way out. If you don't feel like getting deep today, then just roll on over to the next chapter. Or better yet, shut this book right now and head on over to Ideums. Yes, that's Ascendant plus an underscore. That's the Instagram account for my 2 adorable Ossipoos. They are always up to some whimsical shenanigans, guaranteed to lift your spirits. I'm not bragging, but let a mom brag, okay? If you're not feeling it today, I won't hold it against you. But for everybody who wants the real Asia, I will give it to you straight. 4 years ago, I had my first panic attack. I really thought I was about to die. I was on vacation with my whole family down at Kiowa Island, off the coast of South Carolina. We were in the car driving to the outlet malls because you know our girl loves to shop. Nothing better than some deep discount athleisure. Am I right? Yes, I am right. Bright, sunny day, off-season vibes, surrounded by love. But for some reason, my anxiety was humming. That's the only way I can describe it. My brain would not chill. Now, that's all I'm going to go into this and read for you today because I want you to go and actually buy the book and read the rest. But this is Dear Black Girls from Asia Riyadh Wilson.
Oh God!
Oh my
People of God.
I want to hear the other. I want to hear the other half in a different accent.
B, you got to do the audiobook. You got to do the audiobook.
I want to hear a different accent.
Oh God!
Wrong. Wait, no. Wait, I was about to get a paper towel and throw it like him.
You gotta do your TD Jake swallowing accent.
Hold on. Oh God.
Jerome set it off. I agree, Goldsy.
Oh yes, I am wearing savage. Phenomenal woman. That's me. I play with y'all tonight. I'm not. I'm sorry.
Oh God. Well, to wrap us up, any final thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? in the comments. Let us know. If you have your wine, go ahead and grab it because we need to finish this.
Have you ever been swallowed up?
Oh, brother.
Grab your wine. We got to finish it. Also, please like, subscribe, share with a friend and a family member so that we can keep this thing going. Okay. But up to it. Come on, get them cups out, Yana.
I don't finish mine.
Oh, man.
I'm done.
Where's the
A
bottle?
little bit.
Swallow.
My head down.
It's a little
Up
bit.
to it, down to it. Those who don't do it, drink more. Drink.
Why you said it like that? Like that's how I sound. That's how I
It's
sound to
not.
you?
That's like the
No.
church a praise break.
Is that how I sound to you?
Period. We got committee. We got.
So then why would you say that?
We.
Just
We-
giving it
So why,
like a
excuse me,
little.
y'all. Give me 5 seconds. Give me 5 seconds.
You,
So
my
why would you say it like that?
friends.
Shay,
I forgot the
Look,
rest.
I was just trying to give it a
Goodbye
little like
For
we
now.
did an accent. I was trying to do one.
Meet
Put
again.
y'all. Period. B. You taking donations tonight?
Yes. It's B. I'ma write it in the chat. It's B. Terrell. $ITSBTERREL.
INDEP.
That's
Do you know what that means?
You want a bad bitch? Trina's the baddest, and I'm thinking fine from the comment in the bad bitch, a sad bitch. I will give you my number so you can have this, but I don't need your fucking prank calls on your madness. My ass unrolled, my goodies incredible. I'm in this cheerleader skirt, and his leg flexible.
You doing Trina songs?
Huh?
I got an ass so big like the
Like the
sun.
sun. I want to run.
All right. I need
Slap it in my face.
We gotta.
I know how to. I can spin around and keep that inside.
Now your mouth will look real scared. My head heater.
Yeah, you running now. Get your and eat this.
After Dear Black Girl, this is what you're gonna do. Is this who we are?
Still I rise.
Is this
Still I rise. On this land.
On this land.
Lord,
After reading Dear Black Girls.
Intersectionality, duality.
No,
all right.
That ain't what that means.
Somebody ended, Lord.
Oh yes, for Black History Month, go Steph.
Stephanie Dawson?
No, Steph Curry tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Oh,
bye, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
We gotta end
Good
this
night.
shit. Good night, y'all.
Hit BT Plus up and tell them they need us for a sports show.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
Malaysia, how
you.
Malaysia do it? Malaysia was like,
Oh, she did the rock the baby too.
Oh yes.
We got
It's
a new
Anaya.
subscriber. Hey, Valencia, stay with us. Tell a friend.
Oh, we love new subscribers.
We love new subscribers.
Hey.
I might
Good
show
night,
some
y'all.
feet. I'll show some feet for a new subscriber next time.
Oh no, wait a minute. I got the robot. Hold on. Let me play my music. Alexa,
my gosh, end it, Lord, end it.
Wrap it up.
Alexa, play Red Light District.
Oh,
I mean special. Alexa, play Red Light Special by TLC. Alexa, play Red Light Special by TLC. Alexa, play Red Light Special by TLC.
B, if you can't get it to work,
It's coming. I lost my wig. I feel like the basketball game.
okay. And on that note,
Good night.
good night, y'all.